writing to you in the hope that you might be interested in a property rather smaller than those usually associated with the National Trust for Scotland, and in an area where people might not expect to find such a property, Garnet Hill in Glasgow. Perhaps I had better start at the beginning. About 7 years ago, I was visiting an uncle in Glasgow when he got word of a bequest. 6 dining room chairs from a Miss Agnes Toward. He had been her church elder. I went with him to collect the chairs from the tenement flat in Buccleuch Street, which she had been forced by age and infirmity to leave 10 years earlier. For all of these 10 years, she had paid the rent in the hope of returning one day, and the flat had lain empty exactly as she had left it. Now it was to be cleared and put up for sale. In spite of the dirt, dilapidation and rubbish that had accumulated during a decade of neglect, I was fascinated. It was literally like walking into a much earlier part of the century. Somewhat to my own surprise, I decided then and there to buy the flat as it stood. I realized that if I did not, an irreplaceable fragment of Glasgow's past would soon disappear forever. During the 7 years that I've lived here, I've done what I can in my spare time to restore the interior to what it must have been like when Miss Toward was alive. But much still remains to be done. Even so, I cannot help feeling that with help and expert advice, the flat could become a place where the furniture, fittings, and personal possessions would allow one a glimpse of a past era of life in the city. It would, I'm sure, bring pleasure and vivid memories to older people, as well as valuable education to school children. Without Miss Agnes Toward, this flat might have been just an old Glasgow tenement brought up to date by a succession of tenants. As it is, by never modernising it in any way, and seldom throwing anything out, she has left behind something that is unique in its internal fittings and contents. There is so much evidence of her presence that one feels she has only slipped out for a pint of milk. Indeed, when I first took possession of the flat, there was still washing on the pulley, food in the cupboard, a candle by the bed, and a stone hot water bottle between the sheets. There is also much to remind us of her mother, who came with her daughter to live in the flat in 1911. I found a brass plate advertising Mrs. Toward as a dressmaker, a very early treadle sewing machine, dressmaking materials, sheet music, and her scrapbook. Miss Toward was 25 in 1911 when she moved to Buccleuch Street, and 3 years later she obtained a new post as a shorthand typist with the shipping firm Prentice Service and Henderson, one of the first women they employed, a decision forced on them by the war and the number of men volunteering to join the services. She remained with the firm until December 1959, when, at the age of 74, she agreed, reluctantly, to retire. Mrs. Toward had died in 1939, and Miss Toward lived on in the flat alone until, in 1965, she was taken to hospital. She was the last of her family, so there was no one to look after her things while she was in hospital, nor was there anyone to inherit her possessions. Among her effects are her school books and slate, correspondence between her parents before they were married, a huge variety of household receipts, old newspapers, postcards, scrapbooks, and family photographs. Every cupboard yielded intriguing discoveries, and I spent most of one night reading reports of the First World War from newspapers under the battered lino in the hall. It must have been laid in 1915. I hope that perhaps this letter may stimulate enough interest to warrant a visit from you, so that you may experience for yourselves the fascination of the flat. To my delight, the National Trust for Scotland not only accepted my invitation to visit the flat, but decided to acquire it. Since then, the task which I began has been completed with all the professional resources necessary, and the final result is even better than I had hoped. How's it all been going?
It's been very, very successful.
The Tenement House has been open to the public since April 1983, and in the first season almost 7,000 people from all over the country and abroad came to see it.
Gas lighting makes such a difference, doesn't it?
It also won a British Tourist Authority Heritage Award for 1983.
Must have brought a lot of good publicity.
It did, yes, it did.
Miss Toward made only one concession to a more modern lifestyle. In 1960, she installed electric lighting. But with the help of Scottish Gas, the original gas lighting has been reinstated, and a meter of the period has been put in. To comply with the city's smokeless area regulations, and for the convenience of the staff in the house, the effect of burning coal fires is achieved with specially adapted gas burners.